Be me, Alex, 26. Work as hotel admin. Pretty standard life. Nothing too exciting, just dealing with guests and their weird complaints all day. Sir, the Wi-Fi password doesn't work. Ma'am, you're typing it in caps lock. Anyway, get home after another 10-hour shift. Planning to watch some movies. Maybe play board games online with buddies. Phone rings. It's Jessica, childhood friend I haven't talked to in months. Alex, I really need your help right now. Sounds like she's been crying. Apparently broke up with her boyfriend of 2 years. He was controlling and didn't respect my independence. Classic breakup drama. But whatever, we go way back. She needs a place to crash for just a couple weeks while she gets back on her feet. I'm thinking, sure, why not? Got a decent 2-bedroom apartment. Spare room is mostly storage, anyway. Of course, Jess. Come over whenever you need to. She shows up that same night with 3 suitcases and a bunch of attitude. First red flag. Thanks for letting me escape the patriarchal prison I was trapped in. I'm like, okay, dramatic much? But she's going through a rough time. People say weird stuff when they're emotional. Day 1 goes fine. She's unpacking, talking about how she's going to rebuild her life from scratch. Cool. Good for her. I show her where everything is, give her a spare key. Just help with utilities if you can, and keep common areas clean. Pretty reasonable, right? She nods and seems grateful. We order pizza, catch up on old times. Remember when we used to build blanket forts as kids? She actually seems like the old Jessica I knew. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. Day 3, she's already complaining about everything. Coffee maker is too loud in the morning. Shower pressure isn't good enough. My gaming setup in the living room is taking up too much space. I'm internally rolling my eyes, but staying polite. Sure, I can move the console to my room. She says thanks, but doesn't really mean it. Starting to get this entitled vibe from her. But whatever, it's temporary. By the end of week 1, she's supposedly looking for jobs. Sees her on laptop at kitchen table, scrolling through job sites. How's the search going? Ugh, all these companies want impossible qualifications. Fair enough, job market is tough. Offer to help her polish her resume. She has a degree in communications, some retail experience, should be able to find something entry-level at least. Spend my evening helping her rewrite everything. She barely says thank you. Week 2. I'm noticing she's not actually applying to much. Ask her about it casually. The hiring process is so biased against women, Alex. I'm not going to waste my time with companies that won't respect me. Starting to get annoyed, but bite my tongue. Suggest she tried temp agencies, retail jobs, anything to get started. I'm not going to accept just any job that exploits my labor. Okay, princess, but rent doesn't pay itself. Don't say that out loud, though. Just nod and change the subject. By week 3, pattern becomes clear. She sleeps until noon, watches Netflix most of the day, complains about society during dinner. You don't understand what it's like to be a woman in this world. I work 50 hours a week at a job where I get screamed at by entitled tourists. But sure, tell me about struggle. Keep these thoughts to myself. Still trying to be supportive friend. Week 4 arrives, and I gently bring up the timeline. Hey Jess, how's the job search going? It's been almost a month. Her whole demeanor changes, gets defensive immediately. I'm trying, Alex, but the system is rigged against people like me. People like her. She's a college-educated white girl from suburbs, but apparently pointing that out would make me part of the problem. Maybe expand your search radius. Look at different industries. You sound just like my ex-boyfriend right now. Great. Now I'm the bad guy for suggesting she get a job. Things get weirder after that conversation. She starts leaving feminist literature around the apartment. books about dismantling the patriarchy on my coffee table, magazine articles about toxic masculinity left open in bathroom. I'm thinking, is this directed at me? What did I do wrong besides give you free housing? She's also getting more comfortable, treating place like her own, rearranges furniture without asking, uses my Netflix account to watch her shows, saves them to my profile, eats my food without replacing it. We're sharing everything now, right? When did I agree to that arrangement? Week 5, I'm getting fed up. Come home from particularly awful day at work. Some guest accused me of racism because their room wasn't ready early. Hotel manager blamed me for not managing expectations better. Just want to decompress with some mindless gaming. Fine Jessica has converted living room into her personal yoga studio. Yoga mat, candles, essential oil diffuser going. Could you not do this right now? I've had a really long day. Wow, Alex, way to police my spiritual practice. This is my apartment. I should be able to relax in my own living room. Our apartment, you mean? We're roommates now. When did that happen exactly? She launches into lecture about how men expect women to make themselves smaller, how I'm perpetuating domestic colonialism by expecting her to confine herself to one room. I don't even know what half these terms mean. Just want to play some games and eat leftover Chinese food. But apparently, that makes me the oppressor. Fine. I retreat to my bedroom, eat dinner alone while she continues her spiritual practice. This is my own apartment, and I'm hiding in my room. Something is seriously wrong with this picture. Week 6, and she's completely settled in, acts like she owns the place, invites people over without asking. Some friends are coming for a consciousness-raising circle. What the heck is a consciousness-raising circle? Turns out it's 5 women sitting in my living room discussing how terrible men are. I come home to this nonsense after a 12-hour shift. They all stop talking and stare at me like I'm interrupting. In my own apartment, go to kitchen to grab a beer. One of them follows me. Are you Alex? Jessica told us about your situation. My situation? What situation? It's really great that you're supporting her journey toward independence. I'm not supporting anything, lady. She's squatting in my spare room. But I just nod and escape to bedroom again. Can hear them talking about male fragility through the walls. Pretty sure they're talking about me. By week 7, I realize she's not leaving. Ever. She's never directly said she's staying permanently. But she's bought plants for the living room. Has mail being delivered here. Changed her address on various accounts. When I try to bring up her plans, she deflects. I'm still figuring things out, Alex. The universe will provide when the time is right. The universe isn't paying your share of utilities, Jessica. But she's mastered the art of making me feel guilty for even asking. Every conversation about practical matters becomes philosophical debate about gender roles. Why are you so focused on money? That's very patriarchal thinking. Because rent is due every month, regardless of my patriarchal thinking, starting to feel trapped in my own home. Week 8 brings the breaking point. I've been more direct about expectations. Left note about cleaning up after herself. Asked her to contribute something toward groceries. Her response, complete meltdown. I can't believe you're trying to control me like this. First my ex-boyfriend, now you. All men are the same. You just want to dominate women. I'm asking you to wash your dishes, not surrender your voting rights. But according to her, basic courtesy is oppression. She storms out, doesn't come back until next day. Briefly, think maybe she's gone for good, no such luck. Returns with even more attitude. I've been thinking about our dynamic, Alex. Oh, great, here we go. I realize I've been letting you impose your masculine energy on this space. From now on, I'm going to set better boundaries. Her boundaries apparently include using my bathroom products, eating my food without asking, having loud phone conversations at midnight. But I can't ask her to be considerate because that's controlling. Logic has left the building entirely. I'm living in some bizarre alternate reality where basic human courtesy is oppression, week 9, and I'm at my wit's end. She's now openly hostile toward any suggestion she contribute financially. I'm doing emotional labor by living here and challenging your unconscious biases. What emotional labor exactly? You watch Netflix and complain about society. My presence here is expanding your consciousness, Alex. That has value beyond mere money. My consciousness is plenty expanded, thanks. What would really expand it is having my apartment back. But apparently wanting privacy in my own home makes me a terrible person. Her friends keep coming over for their consciousness-raising sessions. I'm starting to feel like a stranger in my own space. Finally decide I need to have serious conversation. Sit her down after work on Friday. Jess, we need to talk about the living situation. She immediately gets defensive. If this is about money again, it's about everything. This was supposed to be temporary. You've been here over 2 months now. You're not contributing financially or even looking for work anymore. I need you to make a plan to find your own place. Her reaction is nuclear. Starts crying, then yelling. I can't believe you're kicking me out. Just like every other man, you want to abandon me when I need help. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm asking you to be an adult. But somehow, I'm the villain in this story. After her meltdown, she locks herself in room for hours. Can hear her on phone complaining to someone. He's showing his true colors now. Typical male behavior. Next morning, find she's rearranged my entire living room again. Moved, couch, coffee table, everything. Says she's creating better energy flow. This is straight up territory marking at this point. Starts doing loud meditation ritual every morning at 6 a.m., chanting, burning incense, whole hippie performance. I need sleep before early hotel shifts. Ask her to keep it down. Get lecture about silencing her spiritual practice. Leave note asking for basic courtesy. She responds with her own notes around apartment. This is shared space, not a man cave. Check your privilege when using common areas. Bring some unwashed hippie guy named Brad over. Calls himself her spiritual advisor. They sit on my carpet discussing chakras and burning candles everywhere. Brad tells me I'm trapped in negative masculine energy. Says they're working on clearing my blockages. Jessica acts like this validates everything she's been saying. Brad starts showing up daily, sometimes overnight. Guy has no job, just floats around giving unsolicited life advice. Find him using my kitchen, making smoothies with my groceries. Says we're all connected, so sharing is enlightenment. Jessica defends him. Says he offers wisdom more valuable than money. Brad essentially moves in without asking. His clothes in my bathroom, weird tea in my cupboards, using my shower, towels, eating my food. When I complain, Jessica says he needs safe space for spiritual journey. Claims he helps with emotional labor of maintaining household. Neither of them clean or cook anything. Brad has opinions about everything in my place. My TV gives off negative vibrations. Energy flow is all wrong. Suggests I buy crystals to cleanse the space. Come home exhausted one day to find commune meeting in my living room. Jessica, Brad, and 4 strangers sitting in circle with talking stick, discussing decolonizing domestic spaces. Purple-haired girl asks why one person should have more rights to space just because they pay rent. Says it's economic privilege masquerading as legitimacy. They're literally planning to overthrow my lease agreement in my own apartment. Ask Jessica for private conversation. She says they don't believe in hierarchical private discussions. Community gets vote on my living situation now, apparently. Finally, corner her alone later. She explains they're exploring alternative models of community living. Tell her this isn't commune, it's my apartment. She calls that possessive language. Remind her I pay rent every month. Get speech about rent being social construct designed to maintain. Inequality. Point out landlord expects it regardless of social constructs. She suggests I examine my attachment to material possessions. Jessica sits me down few days later with serious face. Says she's been thinking about our living situation. Figure she's finally being reasonable. Instead, announces she's realized leaving would let patriarchy win. If she moves out because I want her to, she'd be reinforcing male dominance. So she's decided to stay permanently and challenge oppressive structures. She's completely serious about this. Tell her she can't just decide to live in my apartment forever. Says housing should be human, right, not commodity. Brad backs her up enthusiastically. Says I've transcended material attachments, unlike me. Point out he's a 30-year-old man sleeping on couches. Jessica calls that judgmental. They start having daily strategy meetings about resisting my oppression. Can hear them through walls documenting my masculine aggression. Every time I ask for basic courtesy, gets written down as evidence. Leave notes with actual timelines for them to move out. They respond with manifesto taped in kitchen. This household will not tolerate patriarchal ultimatums. All beings have equal right to exist in this space. Brad suggests they start billing me for their services, find invoice on my door next day. Services rendered, challenging unconscious bias, expanding worldview. Amount due, $800, getting charged rent by people living in my place for free. Come home to find they've painted my living room wall. Some mural with feminist symbols and peace signs. Point out they've destroyed security deposit. Jessica says art is expression, not destruction. Call landlord about changing locks. He explains tenant law nightmare if they've established residency. Jessica overhears, accuses me of using systemic power structures to silence her, claims my life was empty before she brought consciousness to it. Research eviction procedures online. Legal system treats squatters like legitimate tenants once they're established, even without lease, payments, or invitation to stay permanently. Meanwhile, actual paying tenant has zero recourse. Try one final rational conversation. Tell Jessica this has gone on too long. She needs to leave immediately. She says she's not leaving. It's about principle now. Standing up to male dominance and property-based oppression. I point out it's about free housing while I work constantly. Starts fake crying about friendship and social justice. Pure manipulation to guilt me for wanting my apartment back. Call police as last resort. They show up, seem reasonable, initially. Explain situation calmly. Then Jessica and Brad paint me as aggressive landlord, harassing tenants, claim they feel unsafe with my escalating behavior. Officers say it's civil matter, requiring legal eviction process. Squatters have more rights than people who actually pay rent. After cops leave, Jessica's triumphant, says even they recognized I can't kick people out arbitrarily. Brad says universe protects people from negative energy. Greater than situation becomes complete standoff. Greater than consider just moving out myself and letting them have place. Greater than. But that means breaking lease, losing deposit, letting insanity win. Start sleeping with door locked. Don't trust them around my stuff. Jessica uses my laptop, claiming it's for job applications. Browser history shows social media and online shopping. Brad eats my food and uses my toiletries, calls everything community property. Jessica mentions her dad calling occasionally, says he keeps asking how she's doing. suggest she tell him truth about squatting rent-free. She claims she's living independently. Finally have idea about solution. Instead of trying to remove them myself, maybe family pressure would work. Remember Mr. Miller from neighborhood barbecues when we were kids? Construction worker, no-nonsense guy who worked his whole life. Definitely wouldn't approve of daughter's freeloading lifestyle. Wonder if he knows she broke up with boyfriend months ago, or that she's been mooching off me this entire time. Bet he thinks she's got steady job and her life together. Look up their number, still same house where she grew up. Call that evening, hands shaking slightly. Gruff voice answers after few rings. Introduce myself, haven't talked in years. Tell him it's about Jessica. He asks if everything's okay. Explain. She's been staying with me for 5 months now. Long silence. Then he says she told them she got her own place after breakup. Have to break it to him, that's not what happened. Lay out whole situation as nicely as possible. How temporary stay became permanent occupation. How she refuses work, won't contribute anything financial. How she brought unemployed boyfriend who also moved in. How they claim my apartment represents patriarchal oppression. How she announced she's never leaving because moving would let patriarchy win. Can hear him getting angrier with each detail. Jesus Christ, Alex, I'm so sorry you've dealt with this. She's been telling us she found good job, very independent. Have to tell him she hasn't worked a single day since arriving. And some random guy is living there too? Explain Brad situation, the spiritual advisor nonsense. How neither pays bills but both lecture me about materialism. How they painted my walls and treat place like commune. Mr. Miller is furious now. That girl has lost her damn mind. I raised her better than this. You've been generous and she's taken complete advantage. Says he's driving up tomorrow to sort this out. It's 11-hour drive from where they live. He doesn't care if it takes all day. This ends now. Feel massive relief for first time in months. Thank him. Say I didn't know what else to do. He says I should have called sooner instead of putting up with her behavior. She's his daughter and he loves her, but this is unacceptable. Promises he'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Get first good night's sleep in ages. At work next day. Actually able to focus on job instead of dreading going home. Get text around 2 p.m. from Mr. Miller saying he's arrived. Asks if Jessica is there. Tell him she should be. He says don't come home until he texts that it's clear. Hour later. Still working on it. She's being difficult. Another hour. Brad is gone. Jessica packing now. She's arguing, but I'm not leaving without her. Final text at 5 p.m. All clear? She's coming home with me? Sorry again for everything. You're a good kid. Drive home with actual excitement instead of dread. Apartment is empty, quiet, clean. Jessica's stuff gone. Brad's weird decorations removed. Even cleaned up the painted walls somehow. Find note on kitchen counter in Mr. Miller's handwriting. Alex. Sorry for mess my daughter made. Raised her better than this. She'll be staying home until she gets head straight and finds real job. Here's money for damages and trouble. Envelope with $500 cash. Sit on my couch in my own living room. Turn on my TV without asking permission. Order pizza without sharing. Eat in peace without lecture about capitalism. First normal evening in 5 months. Never heard from Jessica again. Mutual friends say she moved back home, eventually got retail job. Brad presumably found another couch to crash on. Sometimes wonder if she learned anything from experience. Probably blames me for calling daddy instead of recognizing her behavior. But honestly, don't care anymore. Learned valuable lesson about setting boundaries early and never letting anyone stay just for a couple weeks again. Some people mistake kindness for weakness. Mr. Miller drove 11 hours straight to drag his grown daughter home. Real MVP of whole situation.